So, and that that was back then the fifth best time. So, a lot of stuff happened. Oh, we're starting now,
Here we are, yeah.
and it's going to be a Miyugi versus Ruby race.
That's right. So so in the very beginning, the race with Ruby looks a little confusing, but all right. So this is Wings of V. This is a game by Solgren, best known for I Want to Be the Bashi, except at some point he's going to be best known for this game because it's far superior in my opinion. But the very big thing about this game is it's a precision platformer. The really interesting thing about the platforming is that you can drop off of a ledge and still retain your jump. So you can jump whenever you want after having landed. And with the race with Ruby, you saw that come into play a lot. And as they come into the floating keep here, you'll see it in play a lot. To get a little bit of extra distance and also just to do some interesting moves. Like right here, the player has to drop down and then jump over those spikes. Here they have to drop down, jump onto that ledge. So yeah, being able to use your jump after dropping is one of the core mechanics of the platforming in this game.
Yeah, it's taught to you by the little tutorial section at the beginning. Emimi had a little bit of a fall during the Ruby race and got a little bit behind, but it's no more than 10 seconds. He's gonna have plenty of time to catch that back. Giga's getting towards the first damage boost in the game, so it's something that we do to gain a little bit more height than the game thinks we should be able to skip some areas. So you get hit, you gain some height, and you use that mechanic that Dash was talking about, that you can jump in the middle of the air if you didn't use that jump to gain more height.
Yep, so the one that we see right here is just a little one that saves 10-ish seconds, but we'll see some really huge damage boosts later that'll save a bunch of time. Emimi's about to do it on the right if you missed it, and there it is. And then they get to these portals, which as you defeat enemies, it takes health off the portal, so you just have to kind of fight a gauntlet of enemies until the portal quits going. And after this first one, you pick up this feather, which gives you the flutter mechanic. It's kind of like a double jump, but not quite. It gives you more of a horizontal bit of movement because it more manipulates your ongoing vertical momentum as opposed to setting it to the jump speed, you know? So it's kind of like double jump, but not quite. And now a lot of the game becomes not only using your mechanic of dropping off a ledge before jumping, but then also knowing is it better to flutter or jump first, depending on the situation.
Exact. Because different types of jumps, like jump, flutter, or jump, flutter, jump, will give you different heights and different properties. So often jumps can become puzzles that you have to discover the best way to handle, and different players will have different ways of handling different areas of the game.
Yeah, it's really what makes the platforming in this game so much fun is just like when you first get to a new section, it's like first you have to figure out how you need to get through it, and then you need to actually execute it, and it makes everything a really unique challenge.
Giga already through the second portal, and he's going to be making... You were talking about the Ruby race being confusing. Well, that's also going to be confusing, because Giga's going to get into the fight with Miyugi, which is the character he's using right now. So Miyugi's the daughter of the big demon that we barely saw at the beginning. And she's trying to stop you, but she's mostly a tutorial. Basically, she attacks you, her shield goes down, and then you attack her with Sloth. That deals 8 damage. Do it 3 times, she's dead, and then the players carry on.
We should point out, too, that the different characters that the players are using have 0 gameplay difference. All the characters play exactly the same. It's just a fun thing for looks that you can use different characters.
Yep, different characters, different wings, different things are all cosmetic, but different weapons, however, are not. There are 7 weapons that you can unlock by playing the game. Usually you start only with Pride, but part of the category we're playing...
I'm sorry, Emimi got only a half hit with Sloth there and ended up having to get dodge 4 attacks from Miyagi, so that's a bit of a time loss.
Yeah, he got lucky though, because the last attack he got with the 4th one was the fastest one. It could have been Fire Guy spawning, and then who knows.
Yep.
Yeah, I was talking about the weapons. So the category is Mortal Purified. So players start with all weapons unlocked because that's a lot more interesting. different weapons are useful in different situations, and it makes the game a lot more exciting to play. The one we're going to see the most is Greed. These are the circles that we just saw around the Giga. Basically, it's the fastest DPS, but it's dangerous to use because you have to be very close to the opponent. And we're going to see more weapons, like we saw Sloth against Miyugi, and we're going to explain them as they come along. But for now, Gigamet is having a pretty good keep too right now.
Yeah, everything's looking good. Oh shoot, Emimi is going for... Okay, I thought Emimi was going for some swag there, but didn't end up. Okay. Emimi's having a little bit of trouble back here. This part, a lot of people just kind of tank through. There we go. Okay, yeah, Giga's on Pergora now. So Pergora is a nice showcase of different weapons. Right now, Giga is using Envy, which is very similar to the default weapon Pride, except it has slightly higher DPS. However, it spreads its damage out. So the main weapon hits for 4 damage very, very fast and deals its 4 damage very, very quickly. Pretty much faster than any other weapon, I think. Envy spreads it out a little bit more, so if something has more than 4 health, Envy is better because the DPS is overall higher.
Exactly.
Giga's doing Falling Skip now. So because of that weird property we were talking about earlier that allows you to damage boost and all that, where you can drop off of a ledge and then still jump, similarly, this checkpoint that Giga is on is the only time in the game where they save you mid-air, which means that because when you load the game, you don't touch the ground, which also means the game doesn't know to take away the jumping properties from whatever last save file you were on. So you can actually load a save file where you have double jump. Spoilers, you get double jump in the game. You can load a file where you have double jump and then come back, and because you're mid-air, the game doesn't take it away from you. And you can utilize that double jump to actually jump over the trigger that starts a little section right there. Which would normally be kind of a weird strategy in a speedrun to have to load a different file, but the spot that it skips is like really random and not super great for a speedrun.
Yeah, it's 40-second time save. And that was not a big spoiler on the double jump because Giga just got double jump feather right there. And he's going to be going to Electrum. So, okay, Giga's skipping saves here. So Giga's going to do the Electrum skip. It's a bit of a misnomer because we don't skip the boss himself. We skip the area before the boss. So he's going through, then he's going to kill the boss, then he's going to press the respawn button to return to the previous yellow save he was at. And from there on, he's going to continue the game. So you save coming back through that section, which is about 30 to 40 seconds as well.
Yeah, after you fight this boss, you have to backtrack through this area. So if you just don't take any saves, then you can death warp back to town instead of having to backtrack through. However, Giga actually got hit by an electric orb and lost 35 health on the way to the boss. Checkpoints also restore your health. So for safety, he decided to actually take the checkpoint in front of the boss. So he'll no longer save the time from backtracking, but he gets to fight the boss with 100 HP now, which is just a lot safer in a race.
Yeah, already we see it was a good decision because he's already down to 40 health.
Yep,
so
he would be at 5% health now if he hadn't done that. All right, Emimi is picking up double jump himself now, and you can see they're not very far behind. Emimi is pretty close here coming up on Electram.
In fact, if Emimi succeeds in doing the skip, he's probably going to be pretty even with the Giga.
Oh yeah, that's true. And we see Emimi is going for it. Emimi got hit by a ball as well, so we'll see if it's risky strats. Yes, Emimi's going risky. So yeah, Emimi got hit by an orb as well, is 35 health down, did not take the checkpoint, which means now he has to fight the boss with 35 less HP. But if he does it, then he doesn't have to backtrack. So Electram, as you see, when he hits 40% health, he does this long enrage attack where he actually becomes invulnerable during this time, and he throws a bunch of attacks at you that you just have to avoid. Which, again, this game definitely has its roots in fan games, you know, where the bosses kind of go into an avoidance section, you know, where you just have to survive for a bit and damage is no longer a factor. Giga actually took a weird death on his backtracking there, so that'll catch Emimi up even more if he's able to finish off the boss. It's looking risky, though. Emimi only has 25
25,
HP?
yep. 25. Oh, 5?
Oh, gotta be really careful now. He's getting jumps, though. Jumps is the easiest attack to avoid, and you get a lot of damage opportunity. I think he's gonna do it. Yes!
He's got it. And he gets
Nice.
another feather here. That feather gives you a new ability, which is the Purity Orbs. Basically, it's a range attack. You can shoot at enemies now for 1 damage. And these orbs regenerate fairly slowly. So range attack is a lot weaker than melee attack for most of the game, with the exception of the end boss. But it's also a lot safer. So oftentimes we're going to see players shoot enemies from afar, prevent taking damage.
And the shots are 8 directional as well, which gives them a lot of versatility. And as we're going to see in the next area, they're used a lot in platforming puzzles as well. So keep in mind now, that means that the players have the ability to conserve a jump by running off of a ledge instead of jumping off of a ledge. They then have a double jump. They also have a flutter. They also can slide, and they also can shoot orbs now. So the platforming and the puzzles around it get very, very complex at this point. And only continue to get more complex as we go. So this is a huge damage boost that Giga just did. However, he took a lot of damage doing it, so he's going to go for this heart over here for safety. Very good idea in a race. This damage boost here is really, really pivotal, and if you die, you have to do the damage boost again. So it's a good idea to take a few extra seconds and grab that heart if you're not confident or you took some extra damage.
And Giga gets through the first go. That's well done. Let's see how
Emimi is
Emimi
doing
does.
it
He's
now.
also at the skip. And also will go for the heart.
Yep. So Emimi actually took a lot less damage doing the damage boost, but is going for the safety heart either way.
The rest of the skip is still pretty dangerous.
Yes.
Even if you didn't take that much damage, like that rock thrower is a monster.
Yeah, and not only do you have to worry about your health, but right down here, these spikes are instant death if you hit them. And then on top of that, if you get hit by a rock and it eats one of your jumps, so then you fall down and you have to reset because you can't get back up without damage boosting again, and at that point you don't have enough health.
Giga couldn't get the cave skip done, so he's deciding to do the troll cave itself. Whereas Emimi is still trying to do the cave skip here. Basically, you go in, go out while a rock is thrown your way to prevent the rock from having collision and breaking on the wall, and then you come back in as the rock's about to hit you. It's extremely precise.
Yeah, it's very precise. It's also like you have to go by feel a lot because you're getting hit by the rock as the screen is black from you coming in from the door, which means you have to basically just know when to do a jump for a damage boost and assume that you're getting hit in order to nail it. But as you see, the troll cave, even though it took Emimi several tries to get the troll cave skip, the cave takes a while, and Emimi is now right caught up with Giga by getting it.
Yep, about three amethyst attack difference. This is getting pretty hype. Like, we knew this would be pretty even race, and just by the cave skip now, it's pretty even.
Yep. And as kind of foretold by the fact that Emimi's PB has a lot more deaths in it, we can kind of see that, Emimi is, I think, making more mistakes, but also doing things fast and catching up. And that way we have an even race.
Yep. Ooh, Giga already at 40 health.
Yeah, Amethyst is a very tough boss. How she works is each attack she allows you, or her shield goes down every time that she picks a new element, and you can deal 16 damage to her. So every time that you see her shield come up, that means that the player did optimal damage on that phase. And then every once in a while, she every once in a while she does this big beam attack. This beam does 90 damage if it hits you, which means you can technically survive it if you haven't been hit yet, and then after that you can't get hit by anything else. So it's very bad to get hit by the beam. Also, though, when she does the beam attack, the fight speeds up, and she does it twice.
Yeah,
So
we're
the
almost
fight
synced
speeds up
now.
twice.
I don't know if you noticed, but Emimi did not take the save. So he did the
I was
full cave
wondering
skip.
that, yeah.
And
When I was
now we're
describing the
even.
90 damage from the beam, I was thinking, well, if they didn't take the checkpoint, then they can't get hit by that at all. Uh-oh. Okay. Emimi took a You know, deaths on this checkpoint could be worse, i.e. see my last race.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Emimi is going to go for the safety save here.
Oh my gosh, though, they...
Didn't get it.
Yeah, he died to that bat the same time, or the same way twice, though. That's brutal.
There's two ways to go there. Either you wait for the bat and you kill it, or you go extremely quickly. And Emimi kind of tried to do something a little bit between, and I don't think it was a good idea, but now he's done the fast strat and he's right on track.
Yep. So a little bit of catching up to do for Emimi, but hey, that's kind of been how this is going so far, and I think Emimi can do it.
Yep.
Was Emimi trying to go up to where I honestly don't even know what weapon is. I think it's Wrath.
It's Wrath. Yeah, it's Wrath up there.
Emimi's going sloth strats now. What is happening here? Gonna take out these spiders with sloth? That's straight silly.
Oh, but that's swag. It's good looking. Yeah, it's something that Canaris has started doing. Emimi as well. Seems to be using slot strat. It's pretty quick. You can continue sliding through the spiders.
Oh my gosh, you use it here? That's really interesting. Okay. Giga, on the other hand, is going through a very tricky checkpoint right now where you have to navigate through all these mines that do 50 damage to you. So you can take one mine hit, but then it's made complicated by this save right here, which is the save of shame, where if you take it, you are shamed forever. But it's risky not to, because you got to make it through that spot with the mines. Giga already took a hit, so if he got hit by a mine down there, he would have been dead, and after skipping a checkpoint, that would have been bad. But he made it. He made it. He's on the Dark Annihilator now. Emimi is on the same checkpoint now, so...
He's going to use Bernie's strats. He's going to use the bat to bomb... Oh, he missed it. He's going to have to go the regular way. You can use the bat to prevent yourself from taking mine damage and gaining time. That's a bit risky.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've actually... Oh, and Emimi did it right there! Nice!
Yep. You can dodge
really
two
cool.
bombs.
I've actually never seen that before.
You missed the first one, but he got the second one. So now Giga and soon Emimi is on Dark Annihilator. That's basically a DPS race, but you can only damage the boss with your range attack. So it takes a long time to kill him, but it's pretty consistent as long as you're not missing many attacks.
Yeah, so any orbs that you see the players use that don't hit the boss mean that they're basically losing time, or they're losing time off of an optimal fight, because as Ziggy said, your orbs only recharge so fast, and you can only damage the boss with orbs. But the boss does throw other stuff at you, like these, when he enrages, missiles start coming off the right side that you have to defeat. He throws these orbs at you that you have to kill. So you'll see the players try to hit those with melee so that they can conserve their orbs for the boss.
So
Giga gets through just fine. Emimi having a good fight as well. I noticed Giga missed some orb shots, so Emimi might save just a couple seconds on this boss on him. Uh-oh.
Green fire on the ground.
Emimi has Gluttony equipped right now. What is going on? That's very interesting. Most players use Lust because the, and then switch to... You know, I think Emimi is having a lot of trouble switching weapons this run, because I'm noticing Emimi having weird weapons out and switching weapons all the time.
He's using Pride, because, well, he's more used to Pride on this boss because he mainly plays Demon, and you want to use Pride on Demon because the balls have too many HP for Lust. But he probably tried something and it didn't work out for him, so he went, okay, I'm gonna use Pride. Gluttony is not recommended for anything. It's the one weapon that's completely useless in this game. Oh, Emimi's trying for SC skip. Oh, yeah, sadly, he missed it. It doesn't even save any time, it's just pretty swag. Okay, it was just
I'm
one
glad
attempt.
he only went for it once.
I'm gonna have to talk to him about this. So Giga getting to the long minecart section, which is pretty much an auto-scroller. There's not much time saves that you can do here. It's just a little bit of a death possibility.
One thing that's interesting about Sinister Grotto is that you'll notice the player is skipping a lot of saves here in general, and that's just because this area in the game tends to have a lot of save points that are just a little bit out of the way. And so if you're really good at the game, and you can get through these checkpoints without dying, then you can save just a little bit of time by skipping them. It's risky though, because you have to redo multiple checkpoints if you die, of course. And of course, like, from the perspective of somebody who hasn't beaten the game or a new player, it's like insane. Because the first time through the game, seeing a checkpoint is like a godsend every time. Every single checkpoint in this game really is so difficult that you just play the game one checkpoint at a time, spending, you know, an hour on each one sometimes.
Giga's on his way to Terravine. Terravine's an interesting boss. So basically, Terravine does 3 attacks. After his third attack, he's going to send a very big laser towards the player, and you have to interrupt it with one of the minecarts you see to the left, like Giga's doing right now. And one way to make this boss fight faster is using greed by staying very close to the boss. It's pretty risky, and also you tend to use your health to tank hit sometimes to deal more damage. Your Giga's using a very safe strat, trying to take as little damage as possible, and keeping one minecart for safety in case he's not able to kill the boss before the second laser.
Emimi did kind of a silly strat there, showcasing the fact that for some reason on that portion of the game, the lasers don't blow up minecarts like they do on the other part of the game. Now Emimi is slothing Terravine and then resetting again. Emimi's having a lot of trouble changing weapons.
Yeah, you're probably right for that one. You don't want to... Sloth is the most burst damage with 8, the quickest. It's extremely quick for the 8 damage, but it's the worst sustained DPS in the game. So you don't want to use Sloth on a boss, usually.
Oh, Emimi took a spore at the end of Terravine there, but didn't die from it.
Took the best spore because if you're sleeping
I'm really worried
before
about
the big
Emimi.
laser, you get awakened. If you would have taken the paralyzed spore, it would have died. Okay,
Yeah.
just took a death here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was really
on-
worried because
Yeah.
Emimi sent all 3 minecarts right away, and then didn't get good damage on lasers, and then wasn't getting good damage on vines. So that
Yeah,
was gonna be a death. I don't think Emimi had the damage to make it through that.
Yeah, he was trying to push it because he knew that, and sadly went too far to the right, and he hit the shield that's under Terravine. That bounces you up, and that bounced him in a vine and killed him. Giga on the last portal of the game.
Oh, is
In
the
the
shield
underworld?
over the hole active during this fight? I never knew
Absolutely,
that.
yeah, and it bounces you back
That's
if you
funny.
touch it. Giga here is doing a great job against the skeletons. Gets the feather. That feather is interesting. What it does is give you the ability to use dash wings that are a little bit everywhere in the last section of the game, like that one right here. And what it does, it gives you a little bit of a quick boost of speed that the player can then use to navigate more area. So Dash, not the wing, but the guy, told us a little bit earlier about all the abilities players have now. That's one more, and you're going to have to use that with the double jump and the attacks and everything.
Yeah, the dashes are used pretty consistently throughout the entire rest of the game.
And they have one interesting property with Flutter. Basically, Flutter, what it does is that it kind of follows what you're doing. So if you're going fast with Flutter, and if you're going fast and you use Flutter, you're going to gain an enormous amount of height. And we're going to see that used a few times to skip certain areas of the game.
I love that little thing that Giga did there. When you drop into that arena, you can do it super fast if you're just right.
Yeah,
This game's got a lot of fog walls in it that prevent you from passing until you've defeated all the enemies. But you don't actually have to defeat all the enemies, you just have to get them off screen. So a lot of the time you can manipulate particularly those Skelemen to get them off screen and get through a little faster.
Right, so Giga on the Michael Bay chase scene of the game, Craterak. He basically chases you on a long tunnel, and you basically have to shoot at him. It's another boss that can only be damaged with range attack, except for one of his attacks. Basically drops rocks on your head, and you can send them back at him. Giga didn't get many of them there, sadly.
Yeah, it's really
pretty
important
hard.
to get him with a lot of rocks in order to get the fight done fast.
But yeah, you go to the right, then you go down, then you go to the left, and then if he's still not dead, you go down again. You can beat him in 2 cycles, but that's extremely rare. I never managed to do it, sadly.
Yeah. There was a rumor floating around that you had done it, but
Nah.
I went to Snopes.com and it turned out to be false.
Sharks saying false things about me. That's getting a bit scary for Giga and takes a death. At the very end of the fight, Emimi can regain some time here.
So that's the thing in this game that causes the biggest swings as far as the races go, is deaths to boss. I mean, these boss fights in this game take, you know, a minute, sometimes 2.5 minutes. The boss fights in this game are long, and so if you die at the end, that is just about the worst thing to happen in a run. So Emimi is coming right up on the boss right here.
Yep, just one
save
here.
More checkpoint. And there we go. So they're not quite synced, but they are fighting the same boss.
We still have a race.
Oh my gosh, though, Emimi just took a lot of hits to Craterack right away. I'm thinking
already
Emimi
60.
Emimi might reset here just to be safe. Sometimes if you take too many hits right away, the safest thing is just to reset so that you don't end up with the loss at the very end out of nowhere. Looks like Emimi is maybe seeing how he does on rocks before deciding whether to reset. And he did really well on rocks, so the boss's health is pretty low.
It's kind of why Emimi went and took that much damage, is that rocks will spawn pretty much where you stand, plus or minus a little bit of distance. But what you want to do after an attack is go as close to the boss as you can, without getting hit, of course, to make the rock spawn close if the rocks is going to be the next attack, which you don't know. And Giga took another death, sadly, to Craterack in the third phase. He's taking a moment here to collect his thoughts. And Emimi, ooh, still 20 health.
Any one of these attacks would kill Emimi. Oh,
got him!
He got it! So there you go. The race was turned around by a really risky Craterack fight for Emimi. I mean, yeah, Emimi took a ton of damage at the beginning of that fight and then just did really well for the rest of the fight. So that was great.
And that was a pretty fast fight too as well. Only the second attack on the third phase. That was pretty good. So Emimi now in the second part of the Underworld.
Wait, what? You can stand there? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Emimi is showing me all kinds of places that I never even thought to stand.
So basically, there's 3 paths here, and you have to collect 3 keys to continue your way through the level. Emimi just got the bottom one, and he's going for the top one now. The top one is the hardest, I would say, and he skips the save here.
Yeah. Oh, nice! That was great. So yeah, each time that you collect a key, you then have to backtrack back to the fork in the road where you choose which key to grab. However, if you just don't take the checkpoints on the way, then you can death warp back to the fork every time. It can be a little risky, you know, if you're not accustomed to the combat and all that, but I mean, it's just a centaur. You just stand in his face and do 35 damage to him with greed.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than doing the backtrack, trust me. The backtrack sections all have interesting mechanics to them, and they can get pretty hard. So Giga finally got through our little friend Craterack, and he's going to be making his way to the same area Emimi just went through right now.
Yeah,
and
a really
going to
nice Craterack fight too.
Yeah. Emimi is going to collect the last key here. Let's see if he manages to manage... You were talking about fog walls earlier on, that you can skip if no enemies are on screen. And Emimi, there is a skip here that you can do where you kill only one fire guy and can immediately leave the arena, but sadly Emimi here will not be able to do so. He probably can do with 3.
There we go, yep. Yeah, the reason is that 4 materializers spawn total on that part, but they spawn really slowly. So if you kill one right as it spawns, then you have enough time to leave the room before the next one spawns. And yeah, as Ziggy was saying, if you're really good, you can just only have one spawn. So now Emimi is going for Ancient Construct skip. This is another damage boost. This is the biggest damage boost in the game. So if we haven't said it yet, when you take a checkpoint, it kills all the enemies on the screen. So instead, you lure this conving over, don't take the checkpoint, and then that allows the conving to hit you, and just like that, Emimi damage boosted over the trigger that initiated that boss fight.
Got it on a
Skipping
second
an
go.
entire
That's
boss?
still a big time saves because the boss takes about it's a minute 10, minute 20. So it's a shame. Best music in the game, but
Yeah, it's a good boss, good music, but you know, it has no place in the in this category anymore.
yeah, I gotta save the
With it
frames.
also goes gluttony. As far as the weapons go, the weapon gluttony has only one use, and it's in that fight, so that's why we never see that weapon now.
It was kind of shoddy use as well. You could very well do it with greed, and it wouldn't change anything. So Mimi's making his way to the library. So library is where we're going. I was talking about Flutter Dash skips earlier on, and this is where we're going to see the big one here. There's a long area to the right here of where Emimi is going, and we're just going to skip it by taking the feather and going up instead of right. Sadly, is the feather there? Can you save it?
Oh,
No.
okay, yeah, that was rough.
This is not easy, by the way. It's a very difficult skip.
Yeah, it's one that it's another one of those skips where I was bragging about being consistent at it, and now I've lost 2 runs in a row to it.
Yeah. I've got a 38, 39-minute time, and
Nice.
I can't even say I'm consistent at it.
Is maybe standing too close? Oh, I'm always afraid
He's
about
fine.
that brute.
But it didn't reset, so the black ball was in the way.
Yeah, it looked like
Little
Emimi didn't reset, even though, or Emimi didn't reset and would have had time to do the fast cycle. It kind of looked like, but instead waited extra long, and then that threw off the cycle. Emimi also didn't reset for the cycle here. So when we talk about that, the game has a lot of things that are based on a global timer, and that timer resets every time that you reset yourself. And so sometimes just to make things consistent and line cycles up the way that we expect to, you'll see players take a checkpoint and then just immediately hit the reset key. It's just to line cycles up.
Yep, and at the top of this, what we call the elevator, there's a lot of these black balls, and it's pretty useful to know which cycle you're in when you get there, because they can get very weird. I don't know if you saw Emimi tease the brute there.
Yeah.
That was swag.
Ilya says a sass orb. I love that. Giving him some sass. All right, nice little skip there fought by Emimi. That was another case of fog walls that you just don't have to kill all the enemies in because Skelemen can be manipulated off screen. On that one, it's a little tricky because there's 2 Skelemen, so Emimi killed one of them, making it easier to manipulate the other one.
Giga got the library skip, and he's making his way up the elevator. And we're entering Myugi 2. A lot to unpack about this boss, but the basic mechanic is if you hit her while her shield is up, she heals. And Emimi wants to heal her exactly 6 times, because every 8th time you hit her, she falls on her butt and you can send her into the lava. If you do that at a specific health, at a specific time during a certain attack, you can skip her enrage phase, which lasts about 40 seconds. And right now Emimi has the perfect setup for Myugi's health to do this. So we're going to be able to see if he's going to get it. Also, his health is very nice.
Yeah, if you remember how Electram, when he got to 40% health, he ran off and became invulnerable and did a big set of attacks. Myogi does the same thing, but hers you can actually skip by stunning her just as she tries to enrage. However, she's given Emimi a lot of sass right now, and it's... Oh my gosh, I think he got it.
I think he saved it with a lot of stuff on screen.
Nice!
He did it! Nice
Her
job.
attack pattern right there was really brutal, and it's really difficult to time the skip. Because you have about a 4 or 5 frame window to do that skip, and it can be really tough when there's a bunch of business on the screen. Sometimes she's really nice, and she does the attack you need her to do right away, and you can just stand there and... Oh!
Lava
Okay.
skip.
I was not expecting that. Emimi did the lava skip. That saves a few frames.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's more swag than anything.
Now Giga's making his way to Mugi, and he's gonna have his work cut out for him. He has to actually get the skip done, or else Emimi is going to take a very big lead.
Right, Miyogi
40
2,
seconds is huge.
Yeah. We call her Miyogi 2 because it's Miyogi again, if you don't remember. This was the first boss in the game. So Miyogi 2 is basically she's one of the most pivotal parts of the run. And Emimi did very, very well. Got the skip and beat her first try. So Giga, right, like you said, he'll have his work cut out for him if he doesn't manage to catch up.
Emimi did fail the hardest part of the run. He failed the password once.
Oh, that's brutal. Okay, all right, got it the second time though.
Got it a second time. The curse continues. First place players just keep missing the password for some reason during this tournament. By the way, we're doing jokes here, but the password is actually always the same. It's always the same. It's just, I don't know, people struggling to aim something.
Yeah, I mean, in the race, there's a lot of nerves. You might be shaky and that kind of stuff, and you might just flub your inputs.
And Giga failed, sadly, for the M2 skip, and he's going to have... I mean, look at this entire attack. I mean, it's just very, very long.
It takes a long time, and then one thing that we didn't mention also is that after this enrage happens, Miyogi makes the fight more difficult afterward by summoning this skull here. This skull will harass you for the rest of the fight, which makes it a lot more difficult to deal with everything else, you know, dodging all of her other attacks, only hitting her so often, getting the stun and knocking her into the lava. You have to still do all this stuff, but now this thing is constantly on ya.
Yep, Emimi is getting...
Looks like he's handling it really well, though. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a good control of fight. Mugi 2 is the kind of fight that if you have control, you're fine. If you lose control, it can go bad very fast.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's starting to take a lot of damage.
He's now at 15 health. Okay, he's fine. A little bit of a struggle by Emimi here in the chambers. So basically, this area is mostly switches that you shoot, and that moves spikes up and down.
Is Emimi going for pacifist strats? It looks like it.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Maybe he won't be so merciful this time. After they got him once.
No, I think it was just spawning both so that he can. Oh no, he's going for it. You're right. That's a weird strat though, but he's going for it.
Yep, it's the thing we keep talking about where Skelemen just need to go off screen and then you can jump through the... Uh-oh. Get it! Okay.
He got it. That was close. Yeah, he used a very weird strat, but he still managed to do it. I mean, sometimes it's better to do a strat that you're consistent with than a strat that is the fastest, and I think Mimi just proved that there. At the gate, and he gets through the orcs. I don't know if Mimi does the quick kill. Do you know? We're gonna know.
We're about to find out. It looks like Emimi does.
He doesn't. He fell, but he's gonna try again. Takes a hit. You really don't want to take a hit at the beginning of the quick kill. Yeah, because your health is very important.
So this boss is a really nice fight where you dance with these orc ladies. However, a lot of players will do this quick kill. The quick kill is superior. It's very good. It's very consistent. It's just extremely difficult. So, but as you see, usually if you do really well on this boss the normal way, you'll get Purple's health down a little bit over halfway. But if you use this strat, on her first cycle, you can get her down all the way and actually kill her, which is bad because you're supposed to kill the orcs at the same time. So
yeah, and that's what happened there. Mimi sadly dealt too much damage to Purple and killed her, and he had to restart.
Yep. So what you want to do is get her down to, you know, more or less 1% health. And then Red comes in, or Maxine comes in, and you deal damage to her. So Emimi is having a lot of trouble with this quick kill, which means that this is giving Giga a lot of time to catch up. I'll be very curious to see how he tackles the orcs and whether he has any more luck with them. Since we're on Giga's audio also, there's a funny property to the chambers where the music doesn't start until the first time you die. So we just kind of have some awkward silence here until Giga dies once, if he does. Which
again, Emimi killed the purple orc. He's too good. He deals too much damage. He's too good at purple right now. That is heartbreaking.
Right. I mean, as I said, I cannot even explain how difficult this quick kill is to do, and Emimi isn't doing it exactly correctly.
Emimi's using the old strat. There is a new strat. Basically, the orc fight changed a little bit with the last patch. And there's a new strategy.
Brutal.
Oh, no.
So now Giga is on the last couple checkpoints coming up on orcs, so they're going to be synced once again. This is a race.
Yep, Giga doing the hardest platforming area of the chambers. Emimi got it on the first go, but trust me, these spikes are not easy to dodge. This is a pretty hard part. And we're synced right now. Emimi just took another death to the orcs. Giga's not doing quick kill here. We're going to see the casual kill.
Yeah, so here's the difference. Yep, Giga on the left. This is basically how you're supposed to do the fight. Emimi on the right doing the quick kill. And yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. Emimi has to get it this time to stay ahead.
He's got a difficult start here. 40 health is pretty low. He cancels it. He's going to do regulars. I don't know what he does.
Yeah, this is bizarre. This is really weird because now purple's going to come back onto the platform. And, or actually now they're going to do an enrage attack. Oh, and they're doing shields, which is the worst.
Yeah, you cannot really dodging. Yeah, you can't really dodge shields when there's a ball at the top that shoots spikes at you. And he had only 20 health, so...
Oh, the twin orcs. This is one of the hardest fights in the game, whether you're doing a quick kill or not. This is a really tough fight. Also, probably by majority vote, I'm just assuming here, I'm putting words in everyone's mouth right now. I think this is the second most favorite fight in the game after J2. It might just be people's favorites, though.
Well, I would say it's my second favorite music fight.
Yeah,
in the game. It's good. I mean, the thing is that the music just starts booming really hard at the enrage. The problem is with the quick kill, I never hear the enrage, which is
okay. Emimi he has to kill Red right now. He gets it.
Got it.
Nice. Emimi got the quick kill that time and stays ahead. Now it's Giga's back to having to catch up.
Giga's health is really good though. I'm pretty sure he's going to get the kill this time. He's in control. He's not going to be able to get it while purple's on the platform, but it's still going to be nice. He shouldn't see 2 enrage. So Emimi is going through the toughest section of the game as far as platforming goes, which is Path of Decay.
Yes.
Ooh, second enrage here. And that's shields. Shields is an interesting attack. You cannot damage them, I guess, when they do shields, and you have to dodge them. They jump to your position, and sliding out of them is pretty tight. Took no damage though. Well done.
So now he just has to finish off both the orcs here, and he does it. All right, so Giga's in the Path of Decay now. This is a race. Because we still have more boss battles. I mean, Azrael is a huge race turner. The last boss is a huge race turner, so... And just the Path of Decay itself, I mean, the platforming here is so difficult that we can very easily see some swings here. Emimi is having a lot of trouble in this particular checkpoint here. This is one of the hardest checkpoints in the game. Just having to navigate through these little spikes while you kill these strawberry men. Then that's a super precise jump right there that Emimi just did. It's just a really tough checkpoint. And now, also the Path of Decay has this new mechanic where there's these kind of... Oh! Emimi Taz platformed! Oh, but then fell.
Oh,
it looks like maybe
again.
after the Taz platform, Emimi might have magic pixeled and didn't get his jumps back.
That's
but
possible.
these hearts, basically, these hearts have a certain number of chunks on them, and that's how many times you have to hit the heart before it goes away. And the reason you need it to go away is because it's powering some kind of barrier that's preventing you from passing.
We still haven't found a way to go through these barriers, so we really have to hit the heart a few times. There are kind of puzzles. The first time you go through, you have to actually think about how you're going to use up your platforms to touch the heart 4 times.
Yeah, a lot of the time they're surrounded by these crumbly platforms, and so, right, you have to figure out exactly how you're supposed to move through the room that many times in order to, yeah, like you said, in order to hit it so many times.
Pretty good climb here by Emimi. First go, that was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, though,
Giga's
Emimi,
coming to the climb. This is even.
Yeah, Giga's on the climb now too, just one checkpoint behind. If Emimi makes any mistakes, it's and Giga doesn't, it's tied up. Also, Path of Decay, best music in the game. Sorry.
I kind of had the same kind of reaction to Giga's fog wall dodge. That was really the last frame, I think. He had to land. That was tight. Emimi
Right.
going for the swag here.
Oh.
Might be slow.
No.
Yeah, sadly, was a little bit slow. Sometimes when you do that trick where you slide on the head of the bone snake, you clip in the wall and lose some speed. And you lose, and if you lose your slide speed there, it becomes extremely difficult to get the skip like it did right there. Because
Yeah,
you're meant to
Emimi
go
just got
back.
it, though.
You're meant to go back on the snake once, but skipping that.
Yeah, we'll
saves
probably see how
about 3
Giga do
seconds.
it right here. Yep. So Giga jumps back on the snake and then waits for it to come around like this instead of landing on the barrier as it breaks. All right, so now they have Space Meatball. How this works is if you hold the flutter key, you turn into Space Meatball now, and you have free form flight until it runs out of gas. But there's these gas geysers you can pick up that keep you going. So you mix that with the fact that there's spikes all over the place and these hearts that you have to touch to take the barriers down, and you have yourself a very, very interesting platforming, puzzling section of the game.
Did you learn that in the religious studies that in hell there are geyser of meatball gas?
That's right. There will be gnashing of teeth and geysers of meatball gas.
Exactly. Giga just took the lead here by doing the meatball sections perfectly. Wow, and he's going into the gauntlet.
Yeah, so this section, there's 4 different screens, and each of them has a relatively difficult thing to do in it. The first one, you got to fight those 2 orcs. On this one, you've got Brute that you got to avoid. And, you know, no spoilers on what's next. Okay, Emimi's got to change outfits here. He's not feeling Ruby anymore. He needs to put on the fantastic rainbow trail to get through this. The rainbow trail, which, by the way, is off-center from the meatball.
But it can still help. If you're used to using the rainbow trail to go through this, it's going to help you.
Yeah.
It can help you line up, because the meatball wobbles, and the wobble will kill you. It actually changes your hitbox. And he got through it. Giga's still on the gauntlet, about 25 health.
Once again, they're still
35.
on the same checkpoint.
Safety straps.
All right, Giga gets through it though and is onto the next checkpoint. It's the Azrael fight. Okay, so Azrael is a boss of many mechanics. First of all, you cannot damage her too much. As you damage her, she grows this blue shield, and if it gets too big, it turns red and she becomes invulnerable. And the time that it takes for the red shield to die down is significantly longer than the time it takes for the blue shield to die down. So you lose time if you red shield her. On top of that, there's only so many platforms that you can stand on in the fight, and she likes to just drop them at will. The only way to get them back is to drop these souls onto them by touching them, which will also raise them up a level, since they all can have 2 different levels that they can sit at. She also spawns portals that have grabby hands come out of them. You saw that on the left there. Giga made very short work of it and took it out because they actually grow in size indefinitely if you don't take them out, and so you have a big problem if they're in the wrong spot. Other than that, she spawns these blue shards that she shoots at you, which just take a really weird trail towards you, that even though they're slow and look easy to dodge, they just cover a lot of the screen over their lifetime because of how wild their wave is. And then she also spawns these red shards that go in a circle around you except for one opening, and they close in when you hit the attack button. So the safest way to deal with them is to go into your demon form, your space meatball that we're now accustomed to, move toward the gap, and hit the attack key. But there's 2 rings of them each time, so there's 2 different directions that you need to go.
Yeah, good explanation there. And Gigas had great control over the fight. Like,
Yeah,
his
he's
health is
taking a
still
lot of
okay.
damage.
Well,
He's taking a lot of
just
damage,
the
but-
last second.
Yeah.
E20 again here. Oh, that
Most
now,
of her
now we're
attacks
scared.
deal 20 damage, so being at 20, you can't take any more hits. Oh my gosh, that was brutal.
Yeah, when Dash told you the blue shards are dangerous because they will take weird paths, that was a great example there. There was no way Giga would know it would go up or down there, and it just owned them on him. And Emimi took it at exactly the same time, also in Azrael, so we are perfectly synced.
Yep, and I mean, the thing is, as far as how much a race looks ahead or behind during the first 50 minutes of it, look how frequently in these races we've had players sync up on Azrael, because she's got so much business on the screen. You just can't deal with it sometimes.
Yep, she's been a pain in the behind of a lot of the players in this tournament. Me included. My first race, I think I died 3 times to her.
She's the great equalizer.
Yeah, and then you finally get through her, but your nerves are shot, and then J-Ol's waiting.
Yep. Okay, Giga had a pretty bad portal spawn there that he tanked a hit to take out. But then he got hit by another one of the... Oh!
Emimi
Okay, there's
fell.
one thing I haven't described about this fight yet. So,
Giga fell as well! Both died at gravity in exactly the same way. So something that's important with Azrael, if I may, is that when you handle all of these things, the 7 ways attack, the blue shards, attacking Azrael, the platforms, sometimes it can get hard to remember how many jumps you used before you meatball, etc. So sometimes you think you're safe and you can re-jump, but you actually can't, and then you die.
Yep. You've got 2 jumps, a flutter, and a space meatball. And if you forget how many you have, if you run out of, don't know, and there isn't a platform for you, or you accidentally slip between 2 platforms and you don't have another jump left, you're instantly dead because you just fall and die.
She's one of the few bosses that has an insta-kill like that, and the dangerous part is that the farther you are in the fight, the more attack she does, the more complicated it gets, and the bigger the chance it is that you will mess up and fall. Like, Giga died to Azrael, she was at, what, less than 10% health? Emimi, she was at around 20% health, so really the end of the fight.
Yeah, and one thing that we haven't mentioned also is even if they're perfectly synced going into the fight, this fight has a lot of variance on how fast you get through it because of the blue versus red shield mechanic. If you see Azrael flying around without any shield on, the player is missing damage. It means they haven't damaged her in a while, and they're not, really progressing on her health. But if she's flying around with a red shield, she's invulnerable, and they can't do anything about it. So really, you want to see her just constantly have a blue shield on her, no matter how big it is.
Emimi's carrying me right now. He has only 15 health. Giga's in good health situation right now. He can tank a few hits and still get a kill.
Yep, she can just shoot him right now if she wants to, and she's trying to, but Emimi got past it, and 1-2. Oh my gosh, this is so close.
They both so
killed Azrael
close.
at the same time.
Last area of the game, Heart of the Baneful. Not much going on, just a small platforming combat section. Synced going down, perfectly synced going down, wow.
There's a lot of spikes in this area. There's also a certain spike that some runners refuse to slow down for, even though it's very dangerous. So we'll see how they tackle the spikes here. Because it's very easy to die on this part. I think this area is so short that a lot of people kind of undermine it, but it's easy to die here.
Well, let's see how well our 2 players are going to go through the last combat/platforming section of the game.
Yep, basically here's the last jumps, and Emimi slowed down. Giga
Did
the
not.
shark tooth. I don't know if that's because Giga didn't slow down or just didn't slow down enough, but Giga hit the shark tooth, That's exactly what I was talking about. Some players do not slow down there.
He was
Emimi
not
did.
looking left at all. He didn't slow down. No, this time he did.
Oh my
and
gosh.
He bonked though.
That time he stopped and ended up bonking and died again.
Emimi is on J1. So J1 is a boss with an enormous amount of health. And the best way to damage him is to send his spikes back at him. Sometimes he's going to spawn 3 spikes, like so. And you shoot at him. If you hit him in the face, it's 50% more damage. I think that's 2 in the face here by Emimi. Right now he's having a pretty good fight. And J1 is surprisingly easy for how far he is in the game. But in a speedrun, there can be an enormous variance on the speed you can beat the boss just because of the spikes, how many of them you get right in his face.
Emimi's doing a really good job on damage, but not a good job on managing the yellow bar. So the yellow bar fills up as you... Did you explain yellow bar, by the way?
No, I didn't, and he just enraged, so you've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, yellow bar fills up as you touch the cloud on top, or if the skull touches you, that's harassing you the whole fight. As it fills up, Joel becomes faster and also deals more damage to you. And if it fills up all the way, he enters that, like, 15 or so second attack where he's invulnerable and just attacks you for a while, and also heals himself at the beginning of that attack. So it's very, very bad to see that. However, Emimi still made it through with some nice headshots there and is on his way to the final boss.
There's a lot to unpack for the final boss, but for the basics, J2 has a poison aura. He's so evil that just being close to him keeps dealing damage to you, and you have your 3 angel friends that we're going to see come up here that have different abilities. Fiola, the green one, heals you. She drops little green orbs that heal you. Amethyst makes ice traps that you can make Jael dive on for extra damage. And Ira protects you from his scream attack that one-shot kills you.
Yeah,
so let's see how Emimi does here. One
really important thing is that these healing orbs are not to mitigate damage that you accidentally take from the battle. They're there to heal you from the poison. So really, the poison is just a mechanic that gets you to have to keep jumping between the 2 platforms, or you won't get enough health orbs. But J2 is constantly moving between either being between the platforms, to the right of them, to the left of them, and so you have to hop between the 2 platforms to collect the health orbs, while you're also keeping track of where the boss is, what he's doing, where he's going next. It's a huge, huge management game of just knowing exactly what's happening to not get surprise attacked.
Both players on J2 right now, everything can happen.
Yep.
Oh, Emimi went for that orb. Okay, can he get back on time? Yes, he got the dive.
And Jay's not going middle, so that's good. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Both players got the same RNG, right scream. It's the worst RNG you can get, but at least it's even in this race.
Yeah. And is Emimi going for Enrage? Yep. So one choice that you have as a player is you can choose to, when you... Joel enrages at 40% health like the other bosses, and you have a choice where when you get him down to 40%, you can wait until he does his next big dive attack, since that's where you get the most opportunity for damage. That way you can get him really far down in health and not have to deal with his enrage for very long, but you have to wait for it. So Emimi instead decided to do some extra damage and died to the enrage.
Yeah, when he enrages, his attacks become boosted. So one of his attacks, the dive that he just did there, the bite, spawns a worm, and he took damage to 2 different worms in the enrage phase. He's going to be slapping himself with that one.
Yep, Giga actually went for the weight strat that I was talking about.
He took the laser and he fell.
So to dodge the laser, you have to drop beneath the platform and then jump back up. But the platforms have this little lip on them where if you bonk on it, then you don't have enough jumps to get back up and you're instantly dead. Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't think he bonked. I think the laser hit him and he lost a jump because of that. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I thought it looked like he bonked up and just didn't have enough jumps left.
Giga missed a dive here and he decided to reset for safety. Well, Emimi is getting close to the enrage. There's going to be a second scream.
Oh, we have a race.
Jeez. How many times did we have race leads change? Oh my god.
Okay, Emimi got another really safe enrage there, so that's good. Missed a health orb, though. Emimi's health is looking a little low, and he just missed an orb. But we'll see how this works. Oh my gosh, that was really bad. He kind of had to move weirdly in order to avoid... Oh no!
Laser as well!
Laser!
The same kind of death for Giga. Giga's ahead right now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, how is it going to end? Oh my god, my heart.
It kind of spun out of control because Emimi had to do a weird worm dodge, which made him get thwapped by the tail, which threw off his timing to go grab that health orb. And then having to wait for the laser to grab the health orb, he just didn't do the timing right.
Yeah, you do it with audio since you really cannot see what J2's doing. But yeah, if you mess up, you just die. Good old gravity. Okay, by the way, I don't think we talked about the little red symbols behind the player sometimes. These are called burnograms. They burn you. If you stay close to them, they become less transparent and more opaque.
They start to
if they're entirely opaque, they start burning you for immense damage. So that's why sometimes if you see the player go to a place where he could dodge an attack, but he doesn't, it's because there's a burnogram on the way, and they just cannot go there. Both on the enrage at the same time now. Same health, or close.
Yep. Same health on the boss, same health on them. This is insanity. Also, you'll notice once the enrage happens, J2 doesn't do his dive attack anymore, so they can't get the extra damage from that on him.
No, Angels become useless except for Fiola.
Oh yeah, he also doesn't do the get down scream attack. I didn't realize that. I've never thought about that.
It seems like Emimi's taking a little bit of a lead. Giga went for safe strats.
Yeah, Emimi's almost done, just can't choke this.
One more attack. He can
almost
kill him
went
there.
for that health orb.
He
nice.
does!
He does
Emimi beats Giga in one of the hypest races I've seen of Wings of V in a while. Congratulations, GG in chat, please. Wow, okay, my voice is shot and I have another race to commentate. Damn.
That was insanity. Oh my gosh.
Giga didn't let him win at all. Look, like 10% health on J2. That's the difference. And he's probably getting the kill on this attack if he doesn't get hit. Oh. Okay, I don't know how he dodged that. I have no idea. He got him.
Oh, wow.
GG to Giga as well. That was a good battle. I mean, they were both, like what we were saying, they both had exactly the same PB. And wow, they gave us a race there. That was amazing.
Yeah, such a good race. Oh my gosh. So we all need a little bit to calm down for that, but just as soon as you guys are done calming down, me and Squall are racing in 40 minutes. So
yep,
we've got more to do. You
don't get that much time to calm down before your race. I'm comfortable, like I'm in a pajama. I'm sitting comfortably and I just have to commentate. You've got to play against Solid Squall, so that's going to be a good fight. I mean, Squall is a good player.
Oh yeah,
very fast.
I mean, I'm gonna get crushed. You know, it's gonna happen.
No, you managed to win against Kale, so who knows? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to see if we can get the players on stream for the commentary.
Yeah, I don't see either of them in the Discord, so they may not be coming in for post-race interviews. Oh, that was just one heck of a race, though. What a great one.
I believe we have Giga here.
Yes.
Do we will Emimi come by? I don't know, but GG Giga. That was a play. Here's Emimi. GG Emimi as well. Congratulations on your win. That was a real like heart attack race.
Yeah, were either of you watching the restream, and did you know where you guys were?
Nope. Not at all. I thought the Giga win for a long time.
You guys have to go back and watch this whole race. Then it was insane.
Okay. Interesting.
The lead changed at least 10 times, and you were both on J2 at the same time, and
Showed at the same time.
the lead changed on J2, and then heartbreaking deaths happen. For example, on laser drops and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Basically, starting at Twin Orcs, everything just got crazy for the entire rest of the run.
Did you get Mega Skip too, Giga?
No.
I was so not expecting to get it, but
Oh yeah, and
you managed to
you're,
save a tough one. There was like 12
Dude.
attacks on screen when you managed to do it. Well done.
Yeah, we were
actually
really impressed by
did
your
not
save.
practice that at all.
Oh.
I got yeah, just for fun. I got that skip only 3 times. This is the 3rd time I get it,
Oh wow.
and I haven't practiced like I don't know, a month. Yeah. But yeah, I mean it was fun. I had fun on my end, so I hope you had fun too, Giga.
Some parts, yeah, I just like threw away a lot of. I had so many deaths in dumb places.
Yeah, don't worry. Same here.
Yeah, it was a super close race. Really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, there was no section of the game where you two were more than a boss apart. I don't think you were a boss apart actually once.
No, okay.
That J2 death kind of surprised me because I first tried him before the race, and then I really wasn't expecting those Crateract deaths. Like that never ever happens to anyone. Like what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we saw you pause for a minute, like after the second death, just stay on the save and wait a little bit, like to collect.
I was in shock. I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean that happens in these races. I mean, a boss that is usually no problem just comes out of nowhere and just gives you the business. All right. Well, thanks guys for that wonderful race. Thanks Speed Gaming for hosting us on their main channel, and thanks to everybody who's keeping this tournament going. And like I said, don't go anywhere because in 35 minutes now you've got me versus Solid Squall. I'm nervous. I feel like I'm gonna throw up, but you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my best. I'll try my hardest for you guys.
Yeah, I'll try to use this time to sell out a little bit and say that you should definitely follow our 2 runners and my co-commentator here, Dash, who's a great guy. I love him. If you want to see some interesting V action and speed runs, these 3 guys will give it to you.
Hey, follow Ziggy also.
Yeah,
You're like
there's
number
4
3
here.
at this game right now, aren't you?
No, I'm number 4. Canaris bopped me a couple days ago.
Either way, 4th best runner in the game, so there you go. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go practice.
See you everyone in about 40 minutes for the race between Dash and Squall in this very channel.
Oh,
Goodbye.
and don't forget to give Solgren all your money. He put this game on sale for the tournament, so it's 25% off right now.
Yes, buy it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.